Well, welcome back. My next guest says that putting window film on your windows is just like putting sunglasses on your face. It cuts down on the UV rays and it also takes away the glare, and it makes everything look fabulous. Well, Margaret Shrewsbury, we're so glad that you're joining us.
Well, hi Denise, how are you?
From Solar Insulation. Now, you're going to have to tell us all about this. What's fun is that Mary Claire has been on, and she has been doing a fabulous job at explaining what window film is. So we all know that it's not that insulation that goes in between your walls now. We know it's very thin. But tell us about how it's sunglasses for your home.
Well, I have to confess, most of the window films we use for homes are not quite this dark. A lot of people don't want a tinted look on their home.
Exactly.
And they don't want their windows to look different from the neighbors.
Sure.
So a lot of the products are very pale. Typically, like on your house, you have an historic home and you didn't want it to look shiny or dark.
Exactly.
But you do get all that protection that you get, like you do with the ultraviolet protection.
Right.
And you do have some glare reduction. And of course, we have products that do look like sunglasses. It's just we don't use them all the time.
Well, they used to use those in the 70s, and I think they use them when they say pimp my ride, so when you're putting the real dark. So no, you don't have to get them dark. In fact, I can tell you though, just like when I put on a great pair of sunglasses whenever I'm at the beach, and it makes everything look so pristine, that's exactly what happened when I installed the window film in my home. Now I can see the view out when the sun is glaring. I can see the trees so much better. So that's one of the things. Now, Margaret, one of the things you say is you take your cue from the homeowner. Like my house was a historic value home. It was single pane, but we wanted to get the energy. Whereas Shirley Horowitz, who comes on with us from Davishire, she had a new construction, already had some UV protection, but she had something different. Tell me, how do you decide?
Well, each situation is going to be slightly different. You know, you have your homeowner that is looking for energy efficiency along with the fade reduction. And in your situation, you had single pane windows, but you didn't want to replace them because of the historic nature of your home, and new windows would look out of place.
Right.
So we upgraded your single pane glass to really with a really new technology that is really almost like adding another layer of glass to the window pane.
Well, did I tell you, I don't know if I've talked to you, but we've saved 20% on our bill. I looked at it and did the comparison, and this year in the winter time was actually colder than it was last year, so 20% immediately on my energy bill.
That's good to hear. Glad to know that. That product is also very pale and hard to notice that it's even there.
And that's what I didn't want to be able to see it from the street. I didn't want my windows to look different or have a different or like a glare. Anybody that lives here in Nashville, when you go through on Brawley Parkway, we're not going to name the building, but it is so bright. It's a gold metallic on their windows, and it's a terrible film. That's not what Margaret installed.
Not many people want that look unless they are a commercial building. Then they can benefit from those products. Typically, residentially, people are looking for several things they're trying to solve. One would be heat gain reduction, energy efficiency. Another would be glare reduction. If the room, like say a sunroom, or these giant arches, and maybe in a breakfast room, it's people trying to read the paper in the morning, or it's just a nice thing to do to take the edge off the glare. You actually improve the visibility out your window by taking the edge off the glare, so you can give up some of that visible light and still enjoy your view. Of course, all the ultraviolet is taken care of, which is a huge help with the fade control.
Fade control. And one of the things that you say as a tip really for the viewers, and you said that whenever you have a sunny window, go ahead and use a rug, but make sure you rotate it.
Well, some rugs can be very valuable and collector quality, and you can actually even the fading of a rug by turning it. And so if you take out a good amount of fading, which is what we can do, anywhere from 60 to 80% of the fade reduction that we can provide still will have that small percentage of fading over the years. So if you rotate your rug, then you'll have even fading of that rug. Also, if you have hardwood floors, it's good to cover as much as possible with your rugs of the hardwood floors, so that when you pull up that rug for the next homeowner to come in, let's say when you move, sometimes you'll see a slight difference between what was under the rug and what is, exposed to the sun. So you're going to have a little bit difference there. The fade reduction that we enjoy with most of our products that we sell residentially will vary depending on the product chosen. If you can go, like Shirley, her home had so many valuable antiques. She really benefited.
She has a chair that's from the 1400s, like it's the beginning of time. No, not the beginning of time, but literally the first folding chair. Oh, you can't believe it. You're going to be seeing it. In fact, we're going to be filming that, so you're going to see it on the show. But it's a beautiful, kings would sit on this, hand carved. And so when you put the window film in, it was really for historic value to save her products.
Well, when I first got to her beautiful home in Westmead, she walked me around and I got the tour, and the room she was most concerned about was the library, and she had added that room, I think it was just a few years earlier, at the most 10 years earlier, and she had really good windows, and her windows were excellent, but she wanted to keep her windows open and let in all this visible light. So in order to reduce her fading, even on really good windows, you're going to have the fade reduction necessary. So we put a product that took out 60% of the visible light, all the UV, and 57% of the heat load. And that was in addition to what she already had. So the combination of the two has given her really good protection, and she didn't give up her view. I mean, she has a lovely view, and we're going to get some photographs of her home soon. So I can't wait to show those off, because it's a beautiful home.
She did. Oh, you guys did a great job too of saving those. Well, we have a few images that we want to show everybody. This is one of your clients. Tell me about that.
Okay.
What are we seeing here?
Oh, there we go, with a dining room. That's a beautiful, she had beautiful heirloom furniture. I believe that home was in Belmead. She wanted to take out some visible light, all the ultraviolet, just still enjoy that beautiful yard she had. So she can enjoy the fade reduction without all of the,
still see that view as well. And this is on a beautiful new construction.
This is a typical Brentwood home, actually. We do a lot of homes that look very much like this. They have very large arches in their entryway. Often they'll have either a southern exposure on the front of their home or an east-west exposure situation. A lot of sun, and those windows are so large. They just really benefit by taking out UV glare and heat. So we do. So that's what we put on that home to protect it. This shot is one of my favorite residential shots. It's an interior shot. She had a beautiful yard. Again, she didn't want to cover up her windows with window treatments. She wanted to continue to enjoy her view. It was part of her decor to see her yard. So her product keeps out 60% of the light, all the UV, and about 60% of the heat load was reduced with that particular product.
And I mean, really, no job is too large or too small. I mean, you get on scaffolding, well, Lee does. You don't get on it,
well,
right?
the guys will get up pretty high. They set up several layers of scaffolding. We take in a really sort of we call it baker scaffolding into these homes, and it's just a safe way to install high window film. We really enjoy what we do, and it's so wonderful to see the results, to see that people don't have to worry about things being damaged to their home and benefit from the savings too. It pays for itself that way.
It absolutely does. And what I like about your guys is they are so sweet. They'll come to your house. They're very conscientious. They're accustomed to working in nice homes, and so they take care. They're very ginger with all of your belongings. They move everything. What I was amazed at is how fast they get in, put the window film on, and then they're gone. and it literally can happen in a couple of days. That was what it was amazing to me.
Most installation can take 1 or 2 days. The products have lifetime warranty. We clean the inside of the glass. All the products go on the interior side of the glass, so we do have to access the windows. But most homeowners are, very gracious about having us move the furnishings back. We need about 3 feet to work, and all the products have lifetime warranties. Our guys are wonderful, well-behaved, well-mannered.
Margaret, I know that they are well behaved because you would be on them if they weren't.
I would have an issue if it wasn't that way.
Yeah.
But they do a good job, and we get a lot of phone calls thanking our guys for doing such a good job, and we get a lot of people just taking the trouble to pick up the phone and just say we did a wonderful job. So that's always good to hear.
That is always what a business owner wants to hear. One thing that you talk about is you might need to change out your lighting to protect your artwork. Tell me about this fading. I didn't know about this.
Well, it's interesting. There's a fade chart, which I think I might have sent you a PDF of it.
Actually, we do have that. Can we see that fade chart? I think it's in our...
It's a combination of items. It's the ultraviolet. The ultraviolet is the biggest piece of that pie. The other large pieces of the pie are going to be your heat load coming in from the sun and your visible light coming in from the sun. There's a little teeny sliver of pie, much smaller than the others, about 10%, and that is interior conditions. Now, that has nothing to do with what we do, but it's a good thing to know, with all the new lighting possibilities out there. LED lighting does not give off heat, so that's going to be a much lower damage to your items, especially people that light up their artwork. That's not a bad thing to know.
You've got
It's a good little tip.
Well, yeah, that's a great tip, and you and I were talking about it too. We're ready for the LED lighting to go down in cost.
Yeah, exactly. That would be wonderful.
And then we'll buy a lot more of it. Well, let's see a few more images that you have of homes. This is beautiful. I can't imagine who got up on this scaffolding.
We do a lot of skylights. Skylights are wonderful.
People love these. They add a lot of light, but
when people renovate their homes, I have one of these 1970 ranches, and I would be a typical home where when you renovate it, you'd put in skylights because there aren't a lot of windows in some of the older homes. But goodness, when you put in a skylight, you are really letting it in, and so we do tons of them. The products we put on skylights are much more protective than we do on lower windows because skylights are going to get more sun than any other window, and it is going to be very direct and very damaging.
But they still get the light coming in, but it's just not going to damage their floors.
Right, it just takes out a lot of what causes the damage. Here's a wonderful picture of somebody's beautiful room. It looks like a sunroom type room and a lot of light coming in, but very well furnished, wonderful fabrics and antiques, and you just want to take care of those things. You want them to last a long time.
Well, of course, if you spend all the money for your upholstery, have beautiful upholstery, and then you bring in some antiques and some artwork, you want to make sure that you're protecting that, and your windows could truly be causing some problems. This is a gorgeous.
This is a great place.
Gallery?
It's a Persian gallery. They sell Oriental rugs. And
they need to protect those rugs.
They do. Now they did get a very pale window film on the front of their gallery because you don't want people not to see the rugs that are for sale. So that particular product reduces the fading about 60%. So they still rotate their rugs because they're not getting 100% protection because they still want to see in.
Right.
Because they're selling rugs. They want people to see those rugs. So they are going to rotate those rugs a lot less often than they did before. And in the back, they did a more intense protective product. This is an interesting in progress installation. One window has the product and the other window does not, and you can certainly see the difference on that floor. This homeowner has not moved in yet. We'll often get a call before they move in because they don't want to put a stick of furniture or rug on that floor till it's protected. So that was a great before and after of those two windows.
But you finished the other window.
We did finish it. Yes.
Okay, good. Because that wouldn't be good even fade.
It's a great time to take a shot though when you've done one window and you haven't done the other, so you can see the difference.
You can see the big difference that it's creating. And again, let's go back and kind of recap because you take the cue from the homeowners when you come out and you begin to talk with people. So tell me some of the questions that you're asking, because I know with me, you looked at the windows. Oh, these are single pane. Oh, it's historic value.
We do.
Yeah.
We really have to analyze our workpiece and our workspace and make recommendations. The compass helps tremendously. Our salesperson has a compass.
Tell me about that. Now, do you use the one on your phone?
Well, now all the iPhones have them. I used to carry one out separately.
And are they correct? Have you tested them to make sure?
They do a good job. Sometimes you have to get it away from metal. You have to make sure there's no metal interfering with it.
You're thinking, I'm going east unless I'm standing by metal, and I could be going west.
Yeah, but it's very helpful. It tells you what the exposure is. Exposure is very important, because if you have a north-facing window, you're not going to have nearly as much damage coming in that window than you do on the south, east, or west.
Okay.
So if it's
a north-facing window?
A north-facing window is going to have a much slower rate of fading, and it's not going to be a hot sun coming in. It's going to be a more indirect sun coming in.
Okay, so really the south-facing windows is what we've got to worry about.
South, east, and west.
Oh, all three of them.
Well, when the season changes, right now we're coming into our late spring, so the sun has shifted out of the winter sun to more of an east-west sun.
Mm-hmm.
The winter sun, when we go back into the fall, is going to shift a little bit more on the south side. So if you have southern-facing windows, you're more likely to call us in late September or October. And because the sun's going to be a little lower and more direct on the south side of your house.
Right.
And then those people with those east-west exposures are going to call us in the late spring and early summer.
Well, that's good. Just get people calling you all year long.
Year round. We like those calls all year round.
I love that. Well, Mary Claire's been on the show many times, and she's really done a great job she even did a demonstration the last time she was on to really show us how that's installed. With you having this family business, now you've got the next generation, and let's talk about that too. Everybody uses your product. I mean, even the younger people are using it because they're valuing their homes as well.
Well, the younger crowd, they're not into those heavy window treatments at all.
Mm-hmm.
They have a much more modern look.
Mm-hmm.
And the window film is perfect for that. In fact, my son, when he bought his little house in West Nashville, he actually put decorative products on his windows for privacy.
Because you do the frost film where you can cut out real contemporary designs.
Right.
And we've shown those before.
And you've seen those pictures, and he gets the UV protection and the privacy. And then we also have the security films. He moved into a transitional neighborhood, and what I mean by that is some areas of the neighborhood are a little less safe than others. And so he also benefits from what we call safety and security film, which is
Now, what is that?
Safety and security films are wonderful to keep your fragments in place. It strengthens the glass. If there's an attempted break-in, it makes the glass so much stronger. So if somebody tries to kick in your glass or break in your glass, it's going to hold firm until they have to have a lot of power to get through that window or that door.
Wow. I mean, who knew that you could actually install window film and it could actually protect you from thieves? I love that.
Those are thicker versions, yes.
The thicker version, yes. Thank you so much, Margaret. You always give us such a great tour around what window film really does. And we'll be talking about your tips. If you missed any of Margaret's tips, we're going to be recapping that here in just a moment. Well, our good friends at Alex for Flowers, look at the beautiful floral arrangement they sent us over, and a tip as well. Did you know that flowers, once you cut them, they will actually continue to grow up to a ½ an inch? Well, as they're growing at your home, be sure that you put lots and lots of water. Well, you can contact Alex at 736-5200. They're right here local. Keep the business local. That's what we say. And listen, find out what I recently saw on the bumper of a car, and it's also great to use as a theme. That's coming up right after the break. Find out.